My name is Nicole with So Much More. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to join striped binding strips. This process involved aligning the stripes on the fabric, marking your sewing line, and finally sewing the binding strips together. For this tutorial, I'll be using my Juki TL2010Q sewing machine and some common sewing notions, including a friction pin, a small acrylic ruler, and this super cute wool pressing mat. Visit my website to learn more about the techniques and products I used in this video. While you're watching, if you see something that you like, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's get started with the tutorial. The fabric I chose for my binding has large stripes, which makes it easier to match. The tricky part is that while some of the stripes are solid, others are designed with a fading effect. To start the aligning process, place the first strip of binding on a surface that can accept a sewing pin. I recommend a wool pressing mat. Lay the first strip right side up. Take the next fabric strip and place it on top of the first in a perpendicular manner, right sides together. The adjoining fabric strip should be placed with the vast majority of the excess at the top of your perpendicular setting. I auditioned different sections of the joining strip to get the best alignment with the strips. Still having the majority of the adjoining fabric strip going out the top. Once I found a good match, I secured this position with sewing pins. Using your small acrylic ruler and friction pin, mark the sewing line. This line will begin at the bottom left intersection and end at the top right intersection. If you have the majority of your adjoining fabric coming out of the bottom of your perpendicular setting, you will mark your sewing line from the top left to the bottom right. You'll essentially be drawing a diagonal line. Be extra careful to make your mark in the appropriate direction, otherwise your next step will not turn out like you planned. Once you've marked your sewing line, you can readjust your sewing pin placement and prepare for sewing. The last step in this process is definitely the easiest. Simply sew the line you just marked. You can backstitch at the beginning and end of each section if you want. These raw edges will eventually find their way into the seams of a quilt. Remove the sewing pins and check to see if your stripes are aligned correctly. Repeat the process for each binding strip you add. Once you're happy with the results, you can trim the excess fabric. Don't forget to also trim off your little dog ears. The very last thing to do is to press your seams open. These wool pressing mats really help to make quick work of this step. Be sure to catch my next video where I show you some tips about finishing your quilt. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you sign up for notifications, you'll be the first to know about my next video. If you want more DIY, go to the link in the description and sign up for my weekly newsletter. Each week, I send you inspiration directly to your inbox. For more tutorials, head over to my website and Facebook group, where there is always so much more in store.